Today, we will be discussing Captain America: Civil War. We got a lot to talk about, and I'm going to be real honest with everyone real quick. I really like this movie. I've seen it a lot. I may be biased because it came out during the time of my life where I was very impressionable. Captain America: Brave New World is coming out in just a second, and I really wanted to take a look back at these old Captain America movies and see what made these movies so appreciated and loved.
Does anyone have any orange slices?
First off, we're talking about some weird stuff in this movie. It's not like, oh, Spider-Man discovering courage for the first time, or Ant-Man discovering that he needs to work with a team, or I don't know, but this movie, we discuss international law, accountability, bureaucracy, and other political themes. It's an interesting choice. If somebody told me this were going to be the themes, I would have been like, that sounds like a snooze fest. But somehow this movie pulls it off, trying to convey to you the real effects of what having a superhero organization would be and the repercussions behind that. Something that doesn't get enough love here is Iron Man. I'm in a Captain America movie, so I'm gonna side with him for most of the movie. I do understand where Iron Man's coming from the entire time.
You're gonna turn Barnes over, you're gonna come with us now because it's us.
That's really good writing and really good acting done in a movie to try to convey to you that the bad guy is correct, at least in some way. Now, looking back at Iron Man, a couple years back in Iron Man 2, he tells the government to go shove it.
You want my property? You can't have it. But I did you a big favor. I have successfully privatized world peace.
All of a sudden, we're presented with Iron Man here, where he's actually pro-government and pro-control.
We need to be put in check. If we can't accept limitations, we're boundaryless. We're no better than the bad guys.
Anybody looking at this would be like, hey, that's not what Iron Man would do. But actually, the character that we've seen, as he's changed after he's blown up a city, after he's let down Pepper, killed all these people, and he finally starts to realize that, hey, maybe I need to try something different. That's called a character arc. Man, is that nice to see. It's subtle. It isn't blatant in your face, as Tony becomes desperate and is willing to try anything, not only to win Pepper back, but to just get better and live with himself at night. And this is him just trying out anything. This is what Tony would do based off of what we know. And based off of what we know from Captain America would probably be pro-government, right? If you would have asked him in Captain America 1 or in Avengers 1, he would have been like, yes, we need repercussions, we need to work with the UN. But no, we've seen Captain America 2 and we've seen Avengers 2, where in those movies, he realized that people have too much oversight and too much control, and the safest hands are still his own.
But if this panel sends us somewhere we don't think we should go, we may not be perfect, but the safest hands are still our own.
These two characters have completely flip-flopped their beliefs, as their characters' beliefs and values have changed over time. These are real people, and it's why we love these characters, because they're real people. They change. They don't stay the same person every movie. This is what they do in the comics as well.
But it's run by people with agendas, and agendas change.
It is a good job of lining this up for you, and even making arguments from the other characters to describe why they might be right.
We have one hand on the wheel, we can still steer.
I especially love Vision's take on this.
Our very strength invites challenge. Challenge incites conflict. Oversight is not an idea that can be dismissed out of hand.
This isn't a one-sided argument. This is a close call. It makes sense. And you kind of get to unravel this throughout the movie of, hey, why Captain America actually might be right. The funniest part in this entire movie is just Sam and Bucky in the car.
Can you move your seat up? No.
I love seeing Black Widow and Captain America's relationship in this. Like, they're like brother and sister and like these weird best friends. And I love seeing that again.
Mother, what are you doing here?
I didn't want you to be alone.
Most of these actors are really, really good, and they really do get some time to shine and to show that they are good actors, but especially Robert Downey Jr. He really steals the show in this movie.
Who's putting coffee grounds in the disposal? Am I running a bed and breakfast for biker gang?
And I love looking at this and feeling like a lot of this stuff is unscripted. A lot of his insults, like,
Manchurian Candidate, you're killing me. There's a truce here. You can drop...
Crossbones is so freaking cool. I loved him as Rumlow in the last one. I love his outfit from the comics, and it's here, and it's even better.
He said to me, please tell Rogers when you gotta go. And you're coming with me.
Wow.
Hey, the Dean from Community is in here.
Dean-a-ling-a-ling.
I love the Dean. He's so funny.
Tony, so generous. So much money. Wow. But hear me out. I have got this killer idea for a self-cooking hot dog base.
I got some thoughts on Black Panther. This is our first introduction to him, is in Captain America Civil War. It's already trying to bring all these people together and introduce Spider-Man, and then it's just like, I'm gonna throw Black Panther on top of this. And somehow, it kills it. I don't understand. I don't know how it does it. Every little detail about him, his backstory, his suit, his fighting techniques, to him as a person, everything is just awesome.
Don't bother Miss Romanoff. I'll kill him myself.
Hey, that's pretty good.
The coolest guy in this movie, easily. And his lines are just so stinking cool.
So I ask you, as both warrior and king, how long do you think you can keep your friend safe from me?
There's a little pee coming out of me right now.
And his character arc in this, going from this rash prince to just becoming his own man and understanding the world, not quick to anger. And that's who Black Panther is. He's the calmest dude in the world in the comic books. Nothing shakes the Black Panther.
Don't come for him. Let them drive.
They do a great job of portraying him, and I say this especially because in the later movies, it doesn't feel like they do that as much for him, and it's so disappointing. He just becomes the hip-hop, normal black guy, and I feel like the other movies do him dirty. Chadwick Boseman is a great actor, one of my favorites, and his ending in the whole MCU, these are some of the best lines ever done.
Vengeance has consumed you. It's consuming them. I'm done letting it consume me.
Zemo just casually waterboards a dude. That's pretty cool. I especially do love Zemo.
Mission report, December 16, 1991. Who are you? My name is Zemo.
I am Steve Rogers.
And this is my kind of hot take that I haven't really seen anybody talk about. I do love Zemo, like enough so that he's my favorite villain in the MCU. We always get the big bad guy who kind of has the same powers as our superhero. Like in Iron Man, you get another Iron Man for him to fight, or in Captain America, you get another super soldier for him to fight. But in this, you just get a normal butt dude. Just a normal grieving father who's gone through a lot and is trying to process his emotions.
You lost someone.
I lost everyone.
Oh, we're so sorry to hear about your brother that passed away. He gets 5 big booms. Boom! Boom!
He's trying to do the honorable thing and get justice for his family. You get to see the crazy stuff that he can do and the limits that he'll go. And I think if you look at this character like this is just a normal dad, like maybe your own father, and he feels like he's been wronged by this group who's killed his entire family, he basically goes full John Wick. I enjoy him in the comics. He's a very smart guy, very clever and evil. But in this, he just wants justice for his family. He's consistently apologizing for the bad things he does.
I'm sorry about your father. He seemed a good man, with a dutiful son.
He doesn't really want anything bad to happen. If anything, he's basically a vigilante. He's not really a bad guy.
But I'd have to use this book and other bloodier methods to find what I need. I don't look forward to that.
Yikes.
It's a different take, but it's good, and it's effective. He's the only villain to succeed in any of these movies. His goal is to split them up. He doesn't get them to kill each other, but he at least splits them up. He says it at the very end.
An empire toppled by its enemies can rise again, but one which crumbles from within, that's dead. Forever.
He's very patient, very smart, things that our own superheroes don't even have. It's almost embarrassing to them.
I have experience and patience. A man can do anything if he has those.
Daniel Bruhl, I think I'm saying that correctly, is a great actor, and he kills it as Zemo, especially at the end.
And the Avengers, they went home. I knew I couldn't kill them. More powerful men than me have tried. But if I could get them to kill each other...
The fight scenes are still really great. Even just the simple ones are really good. I love all the suits in these. Everybody's suits look amazing and believable and useful, not CGI'd the crap out. Like, when I'm looking at Rhodey at the airport, I really can't tell if he's wearing an actual suit. But no, like 95% of that CGI. Same with Spider-Man. Almost all the scenes with Spider-Man are CGI. Crazy. Bucky bombs the place, but it's not Bucky, it's Zemo. And the government thinks it's Bucky. And ever since then, anytime somebody bombs something, I'm just like, was it really them? Yeah, this movie definitely aided in my government distrust. Thank you.
No windows on the side and see underneath where there's like a pod thing?
What's that, right?
Something I think this movie doesn't get enough love for and is kind of underrated is Spider-Man. I don't really care for Spider-Man. I'm one of the few people out there who are like, when it comes to Spider-Man, alright? But I understand a good Spider-Man when I see one.
Didn't miss my train. This perfectly good DVD player was just sitting there and algebra test. Nailed it.
Peter Parker in this, or Tom Holland, does a great job in this movie at playing Peter Parker, just like from the comics. And it's a different take. He doesn't say the lines that he's supposed to.
When you can do the things that I can, but you don't, and then the bad things happen, they happen because of you.
What did he say?
And his character arc in this is great, of just trying to get out of his shell and do new things and really take on more responsibility. That's really everything you need to know about Spider-Man. In the later movies, he's okay, and the intro goes so hard of him just walking in.
Where's yours?
Guys, I think I'm the only person in the world who really likes Hawkeye. He doesn't get enough love. If you just do whatever Hawkeye does, you should be fine.
You're all grown up, you got a wife and kids. I don't understand. Why didn't you think about them before you chose the wrong side?
He's doing the right thing most of the time. Most of the time. It's cool to see his relationship with Wanda.
Gotta help me, Wanda. Look, you want to mope, you can go to high school. You want to make amends, you get off your ass.
And his relationship with Tony.
Futurist, gentlemen! The futurist is here!
Give me a break, Bart.
He's one of the smartest dudes in the room most of the time. And he's just the average guy for us to clean on to be like, okay, this is what it would look like for a normal person.
You know, this place is for maniacs. This is a place for
Criminals, Tony. I think that's the word you're looking for. It didn't used to mean me, or Sam, or Wanda. But here we are.
I love Jeremy Renner. He's a great actor. He kills it.
Okay, we gotta go.
I'm not really a fan of Vision, though. Or Scarlet Witch. This is getting weird. I don't really buy their love story, guys. I'm sorry. And I really zone out during all of this. Paul Rudd's great in this. His suit looks the best it looks in the entire series. Shows you how kind of stupid all of this is.
Pym always said you never can trust a Stark.
Who are you?
Come on, man.
And when he turns into Giant Man, it's like, man, why don't we have this in the last Ant-Man movie? You've been saving this for now? The final battle at the end between Iron Man, the Winter Soldier, and Captain America, I find to be very compelling, reasonable, and grounded.
Do you even remember them?
I remember all of them.
Yes, very sad. Anyway.
It's not hard to believe, honestly. I mean, if you found out your mother was killed by the guy standing next to you, you may go crazy as well. Especially with all this other buildup and all the other stuff surrounding it.
This isn't gonna change what happened.
I don't care. He killed my mom.
And how Zemo orchestrates it to work out that way. There is the long time debate of who would actually win in the fight, Iron Man or Captain America. As much as I love Captain America, I also understand that Iron Man does have rockets everywhere and he could easily blow Captain America up. But I think this movie does a good job of showing that Captain America could win. He's just the better combat fighter in close quarters. And yes, the Stan Lee cameo is acceptable until Rhodey does not shut up. Then it's just annoying.
Are you Tony Stank?
Yes, this is Tony Stank.
I think it's interesting that the Russo brothers choose to have Captain America go back to Germany, where basically this is where the first Captain America movie took place. I don't know what this means, what they're trying to convey here, but it's cool, kind of coming full circle. As well, the Russo brothers just have good writers. In literature, having your characters go east, which is what our characters are constantly going. They're going from America to London to Germany to Moscow. It's usually represented going back in time, and that's what they're doing. They're going back to 1991 to figure out this mystery. That's really cool. It's really subtle writing. Going east usually represents something bad. That's what happens. As well, the Russo brothers have a lot of religious undertones here. Gives the story a little more depth. Bucky and Cap fall into a river again, like they did in the last movie. The Hydra stuff is getting washed away from Bucky. It's another baptism. Like Black Panther talks about what death means to him and how he doesn't believe in his own father.
Death is not the end. It's more of a stepping off point. My father thought so. I am not my father.
They had that whole speech in a church. I guess it represents like this is him receiving direction from God or from the pulpit or from, in this instance, it's Agent Carter, but
compromise where you can. Where you can't, don't. Even if the whole world is telling you to move, look them in the eye and say no. You move.
It's all great until he kisses her. Then it's like, awesome, like, good job, man. But like, you made out with her niece, man. That's weird. Joe Russo's in this movie, and he's the dead doctor guy. Yeah, that was him. I don't know why he wanted to do that, but it's a weird one. But the font is amazing. it just pops on the screen and it's just like, okay, this is kind of cool. And the cinematography in this is really, really good. Most of the shots are done very well, and the CGI looks really, really good in this. All the outfits and the characters and the backgrounds, it's a nice looking movie. Nails the de-aging in this. So I think after Winter Soldier and after Age of Ultron, the Marvel Universe had really found the formula to making Marvel movies.
Back to formula.
And it's kind of milking it at this point, and you can kind of tell that here. That is one little criticism I do have. You can notice the quippiness is kind of getting annoying here.
Never dropping that, by the way. Table for one, Mr. Stank.
What?
And though I do love this movie, I do realize that, yeah, we've kind of seen a lot of these themes before. I love this movie. It's a great time. If I had to rank this movie, I would give it a 9.6 out of 10. There are some criticisms there. Now we can do the fun part, right? Looking at all the 3 Captain America movies and seeing which ones are better. In number 3, we have obviously Captain America, the First Avenger. It's a good movie. It's not great though. Second, Winter Soldier. It's got some flaws. It could be doing a little bit more. Captain America Civil War is number 1 in my book. Winter Soldier is really good, and so is this movie, but I think this movie wins. It just does everything a little bit better than the last one. It's a really close call. We'll see how Brave New World does based on what we've seen with all the reshoots and all the things. It's not looking good, guys. I want it to do well. I don't think it is though.
You've got to do better, Senator.
But I'm glad we do have these movies, even if this new one flops. These movies are all great. This is one of the greatest trilogies of all time. Well, thank you guys a ton for watching this. Please remember to like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help out. And I think until next week...
Back to formula.